Gather around, weary travelers and seekers of truth, for you have stumbled into the deepest, darkest vault of the realm. For you stand before the threshold of the content dungeon. Long have the masters of this domain toiled in the shadows, crafting the very foundations of the Empty the Bench network. And today, the heavy iron rises, and the secrets of the forge are laid bare. Behold your overseers and architects of chaos, the keepers of the keys themselves, Sir Callan McClurg and Sir Nick Morgasen. Steel yourselves as they pull back the heavy velvet curtains to reveal the grime, the glory, and the grinding gears of building an empire from the absolute depths. Enter at your own risk, for once you witness the making of the machine, there is no turning back. All right, happy Monday. Hello again, my friends. Good evening. Welcome back inside the Content Dungeon as we fill in again for our good man, Nate Miller, who is still back over in beautiful Italia on this Monday, July 20th, 2026. Nick Morgasen joins us from somewhere in Plainview, New York, or somewhere else within the dungeon confines. Yours truly, Callan McClurg, here with still some sunlight peeking into the dungeon here in Southern California in San Diego. Nick, we're back in covering, filling the free time here on the Monday. As again, Nate Miller still over in Italy over the course of the week. But as always, my man, a lot to get to today, including some big news in our domain here on Press Row.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to be back doing the show. By the way, look at the amount of people filing in right now, watching us. What we're doing best is we're approaching almost 300 people. Hi, everybody making their way in right now. Thank you. Welcome to the Content Dungeon. We will get to the big breaking news in a second, but give us a moment to set the show up and what you're going to hear as we just broke the 300 mark. So we have a lot to get to. We have a new co-host on Forever Power 5, our new college football show. We're going to announce the flip over of our NFL college football schedule, which comes in probably the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Sounds about right.
We're going to talk about some new sports betting content that we are working on for the network. And we're going to get to the big breaking news that is Ryan Clark. Officially, they call it parting ways. I call it firing by ESPN during NFL Live today. So, what? I guess that's where we should start. But before we do that, the Content Dungeon doesn't have a social media account. Maybe it will someday. But follow us across the network at ETB Network on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, at ETB Network. Go to our YouTube channel, which, by the way, we're approaching 400 people about to be in this room. YouTube.com/ETB Network. Go in there now, subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow everything that we are doing right now currently. So please do your part and help us out there. Okay. Should we get to the breaking news?
Have the pigeons come back yet? Yes, they have.
So the big breaking news is amazingly the amount of people are coming in. This is making me very happy. Bravo to everybody making their way in right now. Ryan Clark is officially out at ESPN. Now, this normally would follow under the Press Row domain.
Yes.
But this is big breaking news, and sometimes we might use this show because by the time it gets to that show, it's already going to have been news, which we will discuss on Press Row.
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt.
On Wednesday. But look at how many people want to see this breaking news story right now. Like, this is wild. Like, so first reaction to when you saw this news.
I think first reaction for me came this morning when I kind of began to get off the couch and start the day for a Monday, and literally and figuratively, I saw this. I think, though, Nick, I was more shocked that this happened while the show was still on the air. Like, this did, like, I think I just saw something, though, that came out from Front Office Sports. That they were trying to make this happen tomorrow or when the show was off the air, but it came out early, I guess. And I think, though, in probably one of the more weirder sequences I've seen, though, or have seen in recent memory on television, Nick, Ryan Clark gets pulled off the air with, like, what, 20 minutes left or in the show or
10
something
minutes.
like that?
10 minutes.
I had never had seen that ever where somebody was told they were let go and then all of a sudden they're out while the show is still in progress. I mean, that was just absolutely unheard of. Now, I mean, this won't be a fair comparison, but the last time I can recall anything like this happening, Jim Rome messing with Jim Everett many years ago on ESPN2, where Rome was trying to be funny, but he was calling Jim Everett Chris Everett to mock him using the name of the legendary women's tennis star. And Jim Everett said, you call me that one more time, it's on. And when he did it again, as we all know, he flipped the table over and it became a beatdown.
Yeah, but unfortunately, you wouldn't be able to get away with that today.
No way.
At all. Now, I totally understand that Rome was trying to be funny back then. But back then, things were way different. And you could get away with a ton of things back then that you couldn't do today. Now, with this whole situation, and we're going to read quite a few sources because I have about 4 or 5 of them in this story. So let's start with, I guess, the awful announcing story, and then I'll get you the actual sources of the story. Ryan Clark reportedly out at ESPN as part of wider layoffs. So there is a wider scenario we have to look at here. But according to The Athletic and Outkick, which is what awful announcing sources, Clark is out as part of wider layoffs being carried out this week by the worldwide leaders. So guess what, everybody? There's another purging coming at ESPN.
Yikes.
I mean, am I really that surprised, though? No.
I think I would be a little surprised, again, as Mr. Anti-NFL over here, that it would happen the year, though, Nick, that ESPN, after all these years, finally lands the Super Bowl, that all this begins to happen.
Correct. But you have to realize, and we talked about this when Disney, ESPN, acquired NFL Network, that there was no way they were going to be able to keep every single person from ESPN and NFL Network unless they were going to go way over the overhead and now I don't know what the overhead is or what the budget is for ESPN, and no one's going to know the answer to that question. But there's a lot of big personalities between ESPN and NFL Network. And we're already seeing, so like the Ian Rappaports of the world, the Tom Pelisseros of the world now are technically, well, I shouldn't say technically, they are working for ESPN. They signed new deals with ESPN. Kyle Brandt just signed a new deal with ESPN. They were exclusively NFL Network employees because they were not part of the ESPN brass before this whole thing took place. But have you ever heard the homage that don't give your employer a reason to fire you?
Yes.
And that's where I think Ryan Clark falls in this scenario. Ryan Clark was doing just fine. He's making the reports say he was making close to $2 million a year. Not that he really needs the money. Now, let me be clear when I make that comment because I'm not reaching into his pocket. I'm just making a point that he was a former NFL athlete that made, I think, excess of close to $100 million for his career, maybe more. Ryan wasn't like your top all-star, but he was definitely great at his position and made a decent amount of money. By the way, thank you to the 900 plus people who are in here right now. This is bonkers. Like we're approaching our NFL draft stream if this keeps going the way this goes. But we've talked about this before, where Ryan Clark doesn't know when to shut his mouth when necessary.
The one thing, Nick, that always drives me nuts and drove me nuts about Ryan Clark, even though, again, like I usually say, I don't wake up in the morning to hear, ESPN tell me how to feel about the day in sports, and it's people at a panel show like First Take, Get Up, or what have you, yelling and screaming before I've had my first sip of coffee or Red Bull in the morning. The problem, though, I believe that I have had, though, with analysts in the industry like Ryan Clark, for example, is they use the excuse, or they use the get out of jail for free card. When I mean that is, well, I played the game for this amount of time. I did this, I did that. Who are you as the average nobody that never played the game? That's always a big turnoff for me, is that when you act like you're better than other people simply because you played the game. And I think it's been a very big problem that we've always had for a long time in this industry space, is that especially I think though, like with that's been a big problem for me, is that, okay, look, not everybody has, made it to the NFL or to college or never played the game on a high level, for example. Like I never did, for example. Like I got to play, all the way for high school baseball. I had an offer to play, at a D1 university. I had an offer, or had, teams looking at me for major league scouting, but I wasn't going to go beyond, playing after high school, for example, because I wanted to get into this space right here. Now, though I played, I try not to act like Ryan Clark and say, that my opinion means more because I played baseball at a high level. I played hockey at a high level for X amount of years, though I might, sound that way sometimes, but it's not full-fledged of like what we heard about what Ryan Clark was trying to do about like jumping the table to go and tackle Peter Schrager his first day on the job at ESPN.
Yeah, that was a bad look. I think Ryan Clark did himself in as soon as he made those quotes. Well, hey, Peter, you never played football like me, so you're not qualified to make comments. And I said this to you before we went live. Say, why isn't he saying that to Mina Kimes or some
Or
other
anybody
people?
else.
And let me be clear. I'm not disrespecting those people. I'm just saying, if you're going to say that to Peter Schrager, who's been on NFL sidelines or in studios with Fox and NFL Network before he made his way over to ESPN, I just find the whole NFL former player bullshit, that you believe that because you're a former athlete, and not just the NFL, any sport.
I was going to say any sport, you name it, that you know what? And I will say this, Nick, a little bit. This happens a little bit on MLB Network because I watch it, 24/7 during the baseball season.
Oh, it's terrible.
Well, and sometimes, and you know what it is, Nick? It's usually the same two people that are always doing this stuff. Not really. And I love them both. But a lot of times, though, Nick, Harold Reynolds just beats down Greg Amsinger but a lot of times it's good reasons or bad reasons. And today it was him, it was Amsinger, Harold, and I think Al Leiter was on the set today.
Yeah.
And every time that Amsinger, tries to put out throw out a hot take, both these guys, Nick, again, former legendary players, are so quick to put him back into his place. Now, it's not always like, yelling and screaming though, but Harold's get out is always, I'm sorry, but here's my thoughts. I'm sorry, here's my thoughts. But I think though it's different though, Nick, in a way that Ryan Clark seemed like he always used that excuse though, sometimes on the show to get his points across that, well, back in my day or this or that. Now again, and I don't mean to do this again, but sometimes I might come up like that. And if I ever have or do, it's never, for anything out of the ordinary, but there's a right way to go about that and a wrong way to go about it. And I think that, and honestly, Nick, that may have been a big turnoff, though, especially that if that begins to, in a way, create division among the ESPN on-air staff members if you have this sort of thing happening.
Yeah. I mean, you got to park your ego in the door at this business. Now, I get it. I understand former athletes have experience. They played in the field. But you also have to not come off as an asshole in the process when you're a media person. There are great former athletes who do well in media. Okay. Now, some people don't like Troy Aikman, Buck and Aikman together in the booth.
I think they're good.
Believe it or not, I think Aikman is one of the better analysts when it comes to calling games. Now, people go, oh, it's the bias Cowboys quarterback in the booth. All right. Can we just put the Cowboys part aside? Like, Aikman is just great at describing the game. Could there be a little bias from time to time? That's anybody in a broadcast booth. Go ask your guy down in California how that's working out for the Dodgers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just one of those things where you're just like, come on, man. Buck and Aikman are very good. Yeah, I thought they were great at Fox, and I think ESPN made a brilliant move bringing them over to their number one booth. Now everybody watches Monday Night Football. The Monday Night Football booth for the longest time was awful. Awful. Do you remember they had Jason Witten in the booth at one
Oh,
point.
was that was he linked up with Tessitore? Him
Yes.
and
Booger on the Booger Mobile.
oh yeah, that was a monstrosity.
But we're getting a little off topic. But my point is the whole Ryan Clark thing, and we're going to go through all the reports because you and I are going to end up doing this again probably on Wednesday on Press Row. But it's part of the bigger layoffs. ESPN, we did the whole purging last time ESPN had this scenario, but there's a couple of reports that we're going to go through now. And Bobby Burrock, again, from Outkick. So just keep in mind where the sources are coming from slightly. But he put out, and I want to make sure I get this right, he was one of the first to say that ESPN is cutting Ryan Clark. He's part of the layoffs. Per sources, ESPN will announce other on-air talent layoffs tomorrow. So you and I are going to be busy tomorrow, too.
Boy.
Clark is the biggest name. The list of the others mostly includes people who work seasonally for the football season. Which doesn't make any sense, right?
That went to my first point. All this is happening when ESPN finally gets the Super Bowl on their airwaves after all these years.
But it goes back to what I said earlier. You bring in NFL Network, you merge it into the ESPN properties. There's no way you're going to be able to keep everybody. So it was going to happen, whether people liked it or not. What?
Jen, I love it. Go and ask Jack Edwards how that worked out for him. Now, he was the play-by-play voice of the Bruins forever in the NHL.
Yeah.
Beyond Homerism. I mean, if there was a photo of Homerism in the dictionary, Joe Davis and Jack Edwards are right next to each other next to that word, believe me. I mean, I agree, Jen.
I'll give you one now. Michael Kay for the Yankees. I don't think he tries to intentionally, but John Sterling on the radio side.
Oh, yeah.
For the Yankees. I mean, there's so many of them. I don't think they're trying to be homers. I think they just have a passion, and passion sometimes gets mistaken for homerism.
Yes, that part I agree with 100%. Absolutely.
So we find out Ryan Clark is the big name. There's going to be a bunch of names that drop tomorrow. So you and I might be doing a small breaking news video tomorrow, depending how many names we find out. But there's some backstory here, which you're going to find there might be a little bit of unethicalism that comes out here. So Bobby Burrock, and we're following some threads here. Here's how unethical, and he refers to I don't know what the ESPN PR guy's name is, but Outkick told them an hour before that we had the news and would give them time to comment and tell Ryan Clark. In that hour, they pulled Clark off the show, but ran and told another reporter to beat us. So Outkick knew the news.
Interesting.
And then ESPN said, hold on a second. We're going to take him off the air.
Not so fast, my friend.
And then the person that they told, by the way, was Richard Dysage.
Yes, one of the best.
Who I would like to have on this show one day. I think he works for SBJ now, actually.
I think so, yes.
So that whole thing comes out. Burek goes on to say, leaving out a big detail, Outkick emailed ESPN PR at 4 p.m. Eastern time today, saying we'd break the news about Ryan Clark at 5 p.m., but we're giving the company an hour to comment. It told us it'd get back to us, and in the meantime, it pulled Clark off the set and told another reporter, and he lists the Richard Dysage tweet that broke. And then he goes on to say, no, ESPN made it messy because they were so worried I'd have it first that they fired Clark mid-show. But did they really fire him mid-show if they were going to do it tomorrow anyway?
I still think it's awkward, though, that you wouldn't let him write out the show, though, and you pull him off the air with only a few minutes left in the program.
No, that I agree with. But is it really that they fired him mid-show? They already knew they were going to fire him. So did it really matter if and when it was going to happen?
No, I don't think so.
We're talking about semantics at this point. Who had the news first, right?
Right.
So that's a lot of the story. Now, what do you feel about this story?
Oy vey. I mean, I think I would probably just go back to saying in part that, I mean, I'd like to know more about how much of the internal rift happened when he had that, on-air outburst concerning, Peter Schrager, and how apparently, Nick, when we talk about that story, that whole thing essentially like kept going and going and going into the commercial break where it got extremely out of control, I think, if memory serves me correct.
And if you remember, they were both on location to do the football game after that whole thing happened.
Yeah.
So that made it even more awkward, that scenario. But I'm going through the Outkick story because they put out a story. He was one of the highest paid on-air personalities that ESPN cut, earning roughly $2 million per year. It is unclear whether Clark's contract is expiring or whether he's being sidelined with time remaining on his deal. I'm going to tell you right now, if they fired him abruptly off the show, his contract was not up.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, again, I'll just say it again. I just think that there was an undercurrent leading to this whole thing. I mean, they can claim it to be one thing, but there's got to be I'm of the belief that there's still something simmering from, welcoming Peter Schrager to the table and then saying you're not a former player, so your take doesn't mean squat.
But I don't understand why that matters. Do you know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't matter what someone's take is. If you don't like it, have you ever heard, if you have an opinion, keep it to yourself? Like, you don't have to give your opinion. I understand we live in a free country, okay? But it doesn't mean you have to give your opinion because you hate somebody. Like, I'm sure like you and I have many examples of people we don't like, but we don't tell it to their face every single time. So I think people need to take a chill pill a little bit when it comes to this situation. Now, Ryan Clark is a bad guy, in my opinion. I think he's always been a bad guy. He got in trouble for the Kyron Lacey situation.
Oh yeah, I think that, and you know what? Away from all of like the internal rift, though, that has to be one of the main like red flags or strike one, strike two, strike threes right there.
So that was probably a huge problem. Then the Peter Schrager situation happened. That was probably strike two and strike three, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, don't give your employer a reason to fire you. Why would you do that, right? Like,
play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
And now you miss out on the opportunity to be part of the Super Bowl coverage because that's ESPN and ABC were going to have it for the first time. Sources say ESPN is considering both internal and external candidates to replace Clark on the Super Bowl studio coverage. We're already talking about Super Bowl coverage. The season has not started yet. That's
I mean, what's worse? People getting ready for Halloween after the 4th of July or the NFL worrying about the Super Bowl on July 20th?
Oh, the Super Bowl on July 20th. Like, it's not even a debate or discussion here. But just reading through all these reports that he was fired during a show, I don't think I've ever seen that. Ever.
Neither have I. No, never.
And I've been in the building and I've seen things where I worked at ABC where I've never seen someone get fired off a show.
Same.
Ever.
Neither.
And I'm not going to say names, but I walked into the building one day. This was like when I was very new. Like I was probably, or not very new, but I was probably about a year into my time. And two hosts were arguing.
Oh.
It was the midday show.
Uh-huh.
One of the hosts was in the studio during the show. I walk in because I was helping to do some of the midday stuff. And the other hosts locked themselves in an office.
Oh, yikes. That's not good.
And they never did the show together ever again due to some ego stuff.
Creative differences, as they would probably say.
Yeah. So I've seen this before. I've seen this pop-up circumstance before. Ryan Clark, I think, sometimes thinks that because he's a former athlete, he could just say and do whatever he wants, and there's no consequences. Oh, I'm a former athlete.
That's gone to my point a couple times in the opening part of this program, is that's kind of been my whole stance on the whole thing, is that former player can't do no wrong. Whatever I say is gospel, and all of you are peasants.
Or as Tom would say, hear no evil, see no evil.
Speak no evil.
Right. Like, it's like, come on, man. Like, I hate to say this, but he kind of deserved to be fired if Now, we don't know why he was fired. We don't have that. We just know that he was going to be let go regardless tomorrow.
Tomorrow's going to be Black Tuesday. So as opposed to Black Monday in the NFL, tomorrow's going to be Black Tuesday for ESPN, it sounds like. And I also think, Nick, we even have some reporting of more stuff happening with iHeartMedia too, I think, coming down the pipeline.
iHeartMedia is having some layoffs. I saw Westwood One is having some layoffs. Like, it's bad. Been a bad time for the business. Big time. And you know what? Like, you don't want to do something stupid in the industry to cost you your job, because you might not find another one in this industry to call home anymore. So, again, are you and I really surprised by this? No,
absolutely
we're not. Because Ryan Clark is known for having a big mouth. And unfortunately, racism has got him in trouble multiple times. And I don't know, like,
now I might misspeak here. My apologies. Was he the one having the social media beef with RG3 about Angel Reese? Okay,
yeah.
Well, then that would kind of in a way tie in and make sense if this is something far worse than just his thoughts or opinions.
As Christy says, he comes across as a jerk to me. Yeah, I mean, well, also the situation where I think Ryan Clark went after RG3's wife also.
That's what it was, yes.
That was probably the most awkward thing of all time in every way, shape, or form. First of all, there's boundaries you don't cross. We've talked about this many times in the media industry. You don't attack family. You don't attack significant others. Is there any others on that list?
Their race, their gender, their religion, how they look. You don't body shame people.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was a severe crossing of the line when he went after his wife on social media, or Ryan Clark going after RG3. Yeah. So, in my opinion, this is a little bit of good riddance, a little bit. And I don't like saying that because I don't like seeing people in the media lose their jobs.
Definitely.
But unfortunately,
again, when you give your employer a reason to fire you and you play stupid games, you get to win stupid prizes like this.
Right. And I have no sympathy for Ryan Clark because Ryan Clark has his own platform at the Pivot, which he built on his own. And if I'm not mistaken, he had issues with people on his platform too. I think we talked about that, actually. So I just don't understand. Now, as a professional athlete.
Yes.
Yes, F around and find out. I mean, we're seeing this a lot where former athletes feel that they're above the law, even though it's not law, but I'm just the terminology's sake of it. They feel they're above the law. They could do whatever they want. And there's just they're just going to set off a bunch of fires and they don't care if the fire crew are around to put it out, if the firefighters are around to put it out. They're just going to keep sending off fires. And I don't think he's ever going to go back to a network again.
No. And
why does he have to, though?
Yeah, I mean, if you're already in a way like on your own, doing your own content, why do you need the 4-letter network to be like your safety net or what have you?
That's why it's interesting, like Pat McAfee and his situation where he said a lot of things about the executives on his show. But you know what? Pat McAfee, again, probably the biggest name up there was Stephen A. Those two could say anything they want in the world. And nothing is going to happen to those two because they have the biggest followings on the network. They generate the most sales. They generate the most revenue for ESPN, whether it's on the networks or digitally, which is what these networks care about.
Right.
So Ryan Clark will be fine. He'll go do his podcast. The Pivot, from what I understand, the Pivot is actually a decent, I don't know if it's just a podcast or let me look it up. Okay, so the Pivot podcast account has 69,000 followers. That's not that much. I'm just looking to see if Ryan Clark has said anything since this whole debacle.
I'm sure ESPN said just save it for tomorrow.
Well, I'm talking about Ryan Clark himself. If he
I'm
said
sure he
anything.
was still told by ESPN to wait till tomorrow.
But why does he care? He doesn't work for them anymore.
Well, I don't know.
But that was the big open of the show. There was no way we could avoid that. As Ryan Clark gets fired officially from ESPN, but Nick, it says parting of ways. Come on, dude. Hey, come on, guys. It's fired. They let him go off a show. You're going to tell me that's not being fired?
Exactly.
What do you classify as parting of ways?
Fired.
Thank you. And by the way, if you have any comments you want to make, by the way, 1,560 plus people in here watching us babble about Ryan Clark right now.
Before we babble about this network for the next hour and a half.
But if you guys and gals out there have any comments you want to make about the Ryan Clark story, we will address and we'll talk about it from a media perspective, which we've been talking about for the last half an hour. But you and I have enough experience to know what goes on with unruly people, including some people who used to be here, about how you just don't do certain things a certain way. Correct? And I don't care what your status is. I don't care, as you would say, I don't care about TikTok views or Twitter, Instagram views. If you're going to be a dick, then I don't want you here. You have to fit in with the people that you work with, as your colleagues that you work with. And ESPN, whether it's a big company like ESPN or it's a network like ours that's growing, you have to be able to get along with everybody that you work with. You can't just say, I know better than everybody else. Well, I can think of a few people who've said that. But you have to be able to control your ego, your attitude, and your work ethic. Those are three things that you have to be able to control to work in this business. And if you can't do that, don't work in this industry at all. I don't know if you look at any other intangibles besides those.
No, yeah, I think you're right. I mean, you need to get along with people, and more importantly, is that just because you don't agree with people on certain topics, that you don't have to body shame them or then drunkenly sexually harass people as well, just because of you being a dunce when it comes to your alcohol intake.
Right, and you know how I run this network because you're with me almost every day now doing stuff. Like, I don't care if you have a differencing of opinions, people who do content here. We have all types of people now at this network across this great country USA here, whether it's in New York or San Diego. We're going to have a second person in San Diego, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. Whether it's the central part of the country, we're all over the place for this network. Have I ever said to you that I'm just going to destroy somebody over their opinion? No, because it doesn't work that way. It's just a bad way of thinking.
Terrible.
Chris, yeah, I'd like to think that I'm a respectful person. Yeah, like everyone that we bring in here, I want them to have personality, but they need to be respectful too. And one, they have to be a hard worker. Two, they need to be respectful. Those are my two big things. If you can't, and it's not one or the other. If you're a hard worker but you're an asshole, you're not going to last here. But if I don't know, it's just one of those things where you just have to learn to behave. Don't be a Ryan Clark. That's what I'm going to tell you right now. If you're Ryan Clark, I don't want anything to do with you. And I will tell you right now, and this is any company, not just our network here. If you say a racist thing, if you say a sexist thing, I'm throwing your ass out of here. If you say anything. And that's how a certain somebody is not here anymore for that reason. Right. Because that person almost put our network in a bad situation because of it. So that's to everybody who's here at this network. That's to anyone who potentially wants to join us at this network. I'm all for having fun. Callan knows I don't like the FCC regulations. I'm all for it. You can curse as much as you want. I don't care. But don't say
believe me, we've lived through the FCC the FCC for our time in this industry.
but don't say racist things. Don't say religious things. Don't be hateful towards people. You want to disagree with someone's opinion? Be my guest. Callan and Nick D went back and forth on soccer for what, the last week or two?
I mean, if not longer, like the whole tournament.
But it's in the long run, though, it's having a discussion. It's not F you, F you, F you, F you. That's not what it is. Like,
yeah, there's a difference because Nick D didn't body shame my appearance after I disagree with him about soccer. There's a very stark difference about certain things. Believe me.
I saw this from Christy. I was actually watching the show when this happened. I had to ban someone who accused me of being paid off by the owner of AEW to talk shit about WWE on BT. What? You know what, Christy? That's not the first time I've ever seen someone make a comment like that. I saw that. I was trying. I didn't know.
Man. By the way, I do love whenever people use that, by the way, as a meme of like Mark safe from some global event happening.
Well, Facebook actually has that as a safety precaution.
I know. And that's more of a thing to like check into people. Like if there's an actual emergency happening, you could say that, everything's okay here, basically. How are you?
Like when when a hurricane or a
fire.
Yeah. California, I'm sure that was a big thing. Actually,
I actually smelled something burning today, actually, a few hours ago. So I don't know what the deal is. I'm getting a little terrified. It's that time of the year. It happens every year, sadly.
Maybe it's the wood burning in your head. Maybe you have a lot of thoughts going on.
Not really.
Well, you'll have to save that for the cranium tomorrow. Well, we'll get to some plugs in a little bit. But what Christy's talking about, I did see the comment. Some people are just jealous that they can't do shows or content like we can. Christy, I will tell you many times that I saw that.
Yes, Jen.
How many times, Callan, though, have I been given the comment of podcast equipment is too cheap? How many times
I think when I first got here, that kind of became like the inside joke / comment across every like social platform.
Or how many times have people taken shots at me on TikTok? And to be honest, you can ask Callan. Like I don't care. Like I just don't.
I don't either. I make it a point to say I don't read anyone's TikTok comments unless they're anything that might be worth noting for a show, as opposed to just all the side swipes that I get.
I like to scroll it just to see like the funny comments people say.
Yeah, that, and I don't feel like wasting my time when I'm trying to get, plan shows out, plan days out, plan concerts out, plan 2 weeks of being at home because my dad's going to Italy, starting on Wednesday to coach baseball. Like I'd rather plan that out than have to read what Joe Schmuck says from the damn basement of his mom's house.
Oh, making microwave mac and cheese in the.
Hey, Mom, I'm done with my segment.
Yes, in case you didn't get that was a John Clayton reference.
R.I.P. to the GOAT, John Clayton.
The original Insider.
The OG, baby.
But you know what? And Christy, it is what it is. Unfortunately, Christy's got a thick skin, too. She's used to it.
Sadly, Nick, there's 3 fandoms out there that are far more toxic than sports. Star Wars fans, Marvel fans, which I'm part of, which I'm both of those, and wrestling fans. They can be pretty bad.
Can I throw a non-sports one in there too?
Who would it be?
We're talking about toxic. I would put politics up there as one.
Yeah.
Or the Swifties.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of a toxic culture. A little bit.
Yes. Bravo.
I even made a joke about not seeing an envelope from Tony Khan's name in my mailbox.
Yeah, she said she's dealt with a lot of BS too. Yes, Jen, we agree. Yeah, they are. I mean, come on, they boo Santa Claus for heaven's sakes.
I hate Philly fans. Yeah, Philly fans are, and if they get LeBron James, watch out.
The only Philly fan that we'll tolerate on here is Mr. Waitman. That's it.
Yes, he's the only one I will tolerate because he actually does really good content on here, whether it's hitting for the cycle or on the ATB Lounge last night, which a funny clip was put out earlier today.
I don't think, guys, after 104 games, Callan cares to watch the Muppets at halftime of the World Cup final.
That one made my. I was watching that live too, and that
By the
was
way,
unbelievable.
it's funny too if you get Nick D, who doesn't show his emotions too much on here to get a good laugh in about that too.
Well, he also made a funny comment, which what I love about Nick D is sometimes he will say out of context things. Do you remember that? You know that weird thing that goes around those out of context accounts that you see on social media?
Yes.
I think Nick D is a walking out of context account from time to time because his whole thing was, well, halftime shows are not for the sports fan. They're for
everybody else watching.
No, it's for excuse me. It's for the girlfriends or the significant others watching with them. And I was like, really? Really?
I don't know. Why did Bieber look like he was being held hostage at the final? I have no idea. I actually turned it off at halftime to watch the end of the Padres Royals game, believe it or not, because I didn't want to watch that mess.
I had it on in the background just because I wanted to see what the hell was going to go on.
The Muppet.
And Bieber got shit because he was playing a Christian. He played something Hallelujah, whatever the song was called. And
oh yeah,
like people give him shit, like big time. Like, and I'm like, leave the dude alone. Like,
I mean, come on. I mean, if I was going to watch, the only person I care to watch at a World Cup halftime show is Shakira. She is to the World Cup just like Mariah is to Christmas.
Shakira. Yes, I mean,
don't lie after all these years, folks.
I still think the original World Cup song is better.
Oh, I agree.
But the halftime show made no sense of the World Cup. How did it start? It went from Shakira and whoever the rapper was, who was badly auto-tuned.
Oh, you asked me too quick. I forgot.
And then it went to BTS. Oh,
BTS.
no. It started with Bieber. Then it went to Shakira and whoever that rapper was. Don't kill me in the comments. I don't know who it was. But they were badly auto-tuned where it sounded like a like an octavator, like it was just going up and down, like whoever was controlling it. Who else? Oh, right. Jen's right. Madonna started in that car vehicle, which they rolled out.
She still got it after all these years.
But then I think it was Bieber. Then they had Shakira and that rapper, which made no sense. Then they had BTS.
Okay, here we go. Madonna, Shakira, BTS, Bieber, Burna Boy, Coldplay, Gustavo Dudamel, the Public School 22 Chorus, Uganda's Ghetto Kids, Sesame Street and the Muppets, and Emmanuel Kelly. There you go.
The only ones I know are Bieber, Shakira, and I know BTS, not because I listen, just because they're
Coldplay.
And Coldplay. Sorry. How could I forget Coldplay? Oof.
Don't forget Coldplay because of the concert.
Well, I grew up on Coldplay too. I should have known better. But Christy Madonna needs to retire. Yeah, she didn't look good during the halftime performance at all.
God, how old is she, by the way?
Oh, she's got to be, what, in her 60s?
She will turn 68 next month.
She's 68?
She'll be 68 in August of this month or this year.
Holy cow, I didn't think she was 68, but whoa. Yeah, the halftime show made no sense to me at all. And then when the Muppets came out, I just walked out of my office here and just said, nope, done. It was like, not happening. I was like, what the hell is going on this screen right now? Like,
it's
really?
The Muppets.
I was like, Jesus.
I mean, bad enough the Muppets kicked Aerosmith out of the Rock and Roller Coaster at Hollywood Studios in Florida at Disney World.
Yes, that's right. Because I was just there not too long ago. Clown show.
It has no cohesive anything. It has no cohesion. I was very confused. Yeah, I agree.
Actually, since we're talking about the World Cup.
Clown show.
You want to get into a little bit just of how empty the pitch went since this World Cup season is over?
Oh, should we probably? Well, I think we should probably not jump ahead here.
Oh, well,
we should probably get all the other football stuff.
Well, we were
discussed
talking,
first.
but we were talking about the World Cup. I was trying to give you the chance.
Well,
to kinda
that's
take us
later
there.
down the rundown here.
But okay, so let's get to the actual show. Well, Ryan Clark was part of the show, but let's get to the rundown part of the show.
The actual content dungeon, yes.
So let's get to the war room. So a lot going on. We're getting ready to flip the switch to the NFL college football content season. We have a new college football show that's going to be launching on top of Forever Power 5. And our new co-host, James Myers, who you actually know, and I didn't know that.
And the only problem was that I was never informed about who the new host was going to be until he entered the meeting room that last week or a couple of weeks ago.
So he's the new co-host of Forever Power 5, which will be Wednesday nights, 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The full rundown of of the college football scene. The joke is Forever Power 5, but it's really 4 conferences because there used to be 5 with the Pac-12. So that'll come your way starting the last week of August, week 0. So
week 0.
So if you want to follow that show at FP5ETB on Twitter and Instagram, and at Forever Power 5 on TikTok, if you want to follow that show. So college football content is coming back. And as we said, James Myers, our second West Coast guy, joining the network. So now you have some West Coast cohesion going on at this network. You're no longer the only West Coast guy.
Yes, finally.
So, and there's some other projects we're going to do with him too. He has a gambling show that we're going to hopefully bring over into our lineup. So that's going to bring a second all sports gambling show, along with a third gambling show that we do with Tom Albano, which is Fight IQ Puncher's Chance. I almost forgot the name. But
It's in there somewhere.
well, there's so much going on lately. But so that's part of it. And then the new college football show that's going to be launching, and I'm trying to see if I have the graphic. Oh, I do. Let me just grab it onto my desktop here. Yes, this is the curse of doing live, people.
This is why we do this show, people.
So, okay, here's the image. So this is going to be an extension of Forever Power 5, and it's going to be Forever Power 5 After Hours. Nick DiMartino is going to host. He was the original host of Forever Power 5. The schedules didn't work out because he now works 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern. So we had to make some adjustments. So, as I said, Zan and James will do Forever Power 5, which is the weekly show on Wednesdays. And Nick D, the plan is that he's going to do Forever Power 5 After Hours on Saturday nights, which is a good night to react to the college football scene after the day is over. And the plan is it's going to be, it depends when some of the games end. It's not going to start the same time every night because certain games are later than others. Some major games are later than others.
Of course.
But it's going to start somewhere between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. Eastern in that window. He said he wants to stay up late. I said, be my guest. Some shows might start as late as 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. Eastern.
Yes.
So even Callan can watch it at night. So that plan is for Saturdays, and it could be 11.
Saturdays, absolutely not. I'm too damn busy on Saturdays. Starting August 5th.
Well, by the time it comes on, you'll be mostly done working.
I'll probably be drunk and passed out on the couch if that happens.
Yeah, don't do that. But yeah, so we're gonna have an extension of, as I said, of Forever Power 5. Think of this as like your time to react to the angry day in college football.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
we beat some D3 school 71-0. I wanted them to beat the Bears score of 73 from the 1940 NFL title game. I'm so pissed off.
Think of it, and since I worked in radio and you worked in radio for a couple weeks, think of it as a call-in show, but digitally on video.
Great way to put it.
fire off your college football takes. Nick DiMartino is the right personality for that, by the way. He will take in all the takes and react to them. So if you're looking for a place to dump your hot takes, Forever Power 5 After Hours is going to be the place.
Hot cakes? I thought you said hot takes.
I want pancakes, damn it.
Yeah, food actually sounds good right about now. What? Hey, food sponsor, if you're listening, that would be good. But yeah, so that's I think I nailed everything there. Do you want to ask some questions for the listening watching audience here that maybe I can try to answer?
Not that I can really think of right now, actually, at this rate when it comes to FP5. Nice to have it back, though, obviously. Do we have an update, actually, Nick, regarding our good man, Will Charlton, who I believe is on his way to beautiful Nebraska?
Yes, so Will Charlton was doing Noteworthy in the NCAA, which I loved. I thought that was great. On Sundays during both college football and college basketball. So we have good news and we got bad news.
Yeah.
Okay. Which one do you want first?
I get bad news first, good news last.
The bad news is Noteworthy in the NCAA is no longer going to happen. Now you want to know the good news.
Yes.
The good news is that Will Charlton will now be on Zanzinger Part 2 and the show is extending to an hour-long show during the football season. From 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time to 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. So Zanzinger Part 2 is getting an extension, and every week during the football season, which is the NFL and the college football season, Will be on for the second half of the show, 30 minutes, every single week to kind of recap the college football weekend and maybe to talk some news in college football. So Will Charlton will still be with us every Sunday.
Speaking of football, Nick, there's a nice little another new show debuting when it comes to TNF on Prime Video this upcoming season.
Okay, so let's talk about that. So we've been talking about this for a while. And Tom and I, even way back when we were trying to say, we want to go live before games. We were going to do it with playback when they got the NFL. Then that fell apart because they lost $22 million and couldn't recover. If you know, you know. So
here lies playback's hopes and dreams.
What a baby. That line will always make me laugh. Always. So what Callan is talking about is now during the season, we are going to have a pregame show for Thursday Night Football on Prime Video. And you and I were joking around because we have so many shows that have the title Bench in it. Remember, you and I were joking about that? You know what? It works with our brand. Just go with it, people. And then when I was throwing the ideas around, I said, we need something that fits the regular football night in America.
Yeah.
Because if you make names similar, then people will come across it in the algorithms. And then all of a sudden it hit me in my head.
Football night on the bench.
Football night on the bench. And I was like, oh my God, that's brilliant. Even though I'm doing a little pat on the back. But so Football Night on the Bench will be an hour-long pre-show hosted by Tom Albano, which is your Thursday night pregame show every single week. For the most part, TBD on some dates, obviously. I think the plan is we're going to stop at week 15, which is right before the holidays, because it's just the way the holidays fall this year, at least. I think it's Wednesday into Thursday for most of the holidays, so that's going to be a problem. But you're going to get 15 weeks out of the year, at least for now, until we get sponsors and all this stuff and we figure all that out. But so from 7:15 Eastern to 8:15 Eastern every Thursday is your Football Night on the Bench pregame show for Thursday Night Football. So if you need a place and you don't feel like listening to the network people who think they know better than everybody else, come watch our pregame show. Football Night on the Bench. There will be, it's one game. Now, we have our football forecast show, which is on Friday. That's our pick show. This is literally, if you like the game, if you're a sports bettor and you want to pay attention to everything that's going on with the spreads, there's going to be sports betting going on. We're going to do parlays. We're going to do bets. We're going to do against the spreads. We're going to talk about football news coming up for the upcoming week, because Thursday is the day that a lot of the injury news is released. Excuse me. Man, I'm so choked up about this.
You can't wait for football to come back.
So, injuries, fantasy football, sports betting, and so much more on Football Night on the Bench on Thursday, 7:15 p.m. Eastern to 8:15 p.m. Eastern. But Nick, why is it 7:15 to 8:15 p.m. Eastern time?
Oh, doesn't the game kick off at 5:20 in the evening?
Well, for Thursday Night Football, it's actually 15 after the hour. So it starts at 7:15. When 8:15 hits, the show goes off the air because the kickoff usually happens at 8:15. So you get us all the way up until the game starts. So make sure you tune into that. At least the first 15 weeks of the season on Thursday. So there is another vehicle coming for the NFL. Any other thoughts or questions about football content?
I think that covers football. Gridiron Gridlock, by the way, is coming back too for the college football season with Trevor as well, I believe, as well.
Yeah. So Gridiron Gridlock will be back where Empty the Pitch is right now. So we'll address that in a few minutes. But that will take back its normal slot on Saturday mornings, 11 a.m. to noon Eastern, because college football, unlike the NFL, kicks off at noon Eastern. So that'll take care of that. Trevor's great. Go watch the show. He does his homework. He's very good. He previews all the games, all the major ones too. So actually, believe it or not, we are going to have wall-to-wall on Saturdays during the college football season too on Saturday. So you get your pre-show coverage Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern. And then at night, whether it's 11 p.m. or midnight or 1 a.m. Eastern, you get post-cap coverage for college football. So tune in, please. It's worth your while. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ETB Network. I'm going to say it a lot. I'm a broken record. And again, thank you to the almost 1,700 people that are in this room. This is going to be one of the highest streams we've done in quite a long time. So keep coming in. Comment if you're enjoying what we're doing here. If you have a comment about the Ryan Clark situation, go ahead. We'll accept it. If you have any ideas for content or things you want to see us
going to say
do,
the same thing.
then I listen to all ideas. Ask Callan. I'm going to ask Callan right now. Do I listen to the most part for everything?
Yeah. Everything that's been brought up is, even if they're beyond loony and out of control.
Sometimes I can make stupid things work. Sometimes I can't. I don't know. Has there been anything stupid so far that we've turned into something actually really good? I mean, the content dungeon. The content dungeon, I would say.
I'd say that. Combining the lounge from two shows to one finally.
Well, we had no choice.
What else? Not a whole lot I can think of, honestly.
I'm trying to think. I mean, no, we're expanding, which is crazy as that sounds. So Forever Power 5 After Hours, that's going to be 18 shows.
So you mean to tell me that this network will have the same number as my university has D1 athletic program teams on their campus?
Yeah.
18 teams, 18 shows.
Oh, yeah. So you better do your part. Subscribe. You see it down there, youtube.com/ETB Network. We're not asking for much. It doesn't cost you anything. All you're doing is hitting a button. that says subscribe on it. Because we're very close to 3,000 watch hours, by the way, too. We are almost at 2,700. Exactly. Yes. Like and subscribe. I love that because that actually is the action you would take on YouTube. As we just hit 1,700 people. This is unbelievable. I mean, we are having a night. And by the way, when we say it's not all about what's going on behind the network, we're going to react to certain news that breaks during the show. So you'll have to bear with us on that. Did I miss anything on football so far?
I think I covered everything. FP5, football night on the bench. Forecast is back. That's back. Gridlock, after hours. Noteworthy. Gurus will be back in the regular time slot too on Sunday mornings.
Yes. So Gurus in the off season, this is how we figured it out. So in the off season, it's easier to do Gurus on Friday just because of the way the calendar works out. But it will go to Sunday because that's our pre-show for the football season. So Sundays are going to become freaking packed when it comes to actually, Zan just made a really good point. Zan Zinger Part 2 was originally a dumb idea. It was supposed to be just takes, and then it became a second show. Not to mention that the Saturday content is going to be even more electric with Blitz. Yeah, so Zan does a lot of content here. You do a lot of content here. Ben Cruz does a lot of content here. We have a lot of stuff and with the football season, it comes out even more. And you're not going to want to miss it. I promise you. Because from NFL to college football, baseball, and by the way, I think baseball is going to have an extended content season this year. I think because I think we're going to head into a lockout scenario.
Big time.
Usually, hitting for the cycle goes into a seasonal break at the end of the end of November, or when does the season end this year?
September 26th, I think.
Does that include the playoffs or no?
That's for the end of the regular season.
So the playoffs should be over by the first week of November, usually somewhere in there.
Halloween.
So they usually go into a seasonal break. This is going to be interesting with the lockouts and stuff. I think you're going to see them for another month, at least. I think
probably. I would think so.
Maybe more. If the way this lockout is going, we might have to do like special shows with them, depending. Let's see some other comments here. I have 2 wrestling pay-per-views to cover, one this week and one next week. And I had Christy put a comment out on her show last week, or at least mention it. Once a month, I want to see if we can have her show go into AEW Collision, maybe like do the show and kind of do live react while she's on. So we're going to work on that once a month. Zan says the dedication that we have to the NFL, combat sports, sports media, and prediction streams is the reason why you should subscribe. Yes, very much so. And there's more gambling content coming. So
that's a great segue to the next part of the show for the night.
So let's get to the Blacksmith's Forge. I love these names, by the way. Expanding on our sports betting content. So what would you like to know about the gambling content?
Fire away. What do you got?
So unnecessary wagers will be staying in its Friday slot. That was just a scheduling thing. We weren't able to move it. I wanted to move it. It just didn't work out the way I wanted to. But that'll be Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern. And then that'll lead into football forecast, which instead of 6 p.m. Eastern, football forecast is now going to be 7 p.m. Eastern time. And believe it or not, I think that helps the show. Because you and I
you know what, though? More importantly, doing the show live is going to be even better.
We started to do the show live the second half of the year, and the numbers were so much better. But you and I have looked at the numbers on YouTube. And what is the numbers told us when it comes to time of the day?
7 p.m. Eastern seems to be like the prime spot.
Just later at night. Everything is doing better later at night. And actually, Zan is making that point too. I've always thought that football forecast needed to be later, especially because most of us are eating an hour before. So, because we do have some people in the central time zone. But what we've noticed, and Zan, I think, makes a good point anyway, but 7 p.m. Eastern time and on has been so much better. Shows that are on early, the West Coast, you're missing a subsection of the audience when you're on early. It also makes it harder for you to be on some shows if you ever wanted to be on them too.
Why do you think I miss Zinger Part 2 and miss Goalpost every morning? Because by the time they're on the air, I'm already asleep still.
But you've been on MTGP a few times.
I was on, I think I was on the debut when it went live, I want to say, when it first went live, and it was in the morning out here on the West Coast.
Right, because it's now at noon Eastern, which is still early, but it's
9
not
a.m. Still 9 a.m. is still like the start of the workday out here, but still.
But that's not as early for you.
No,
I don't think.
Not like where I think when I first got here and Cycle was like on at like 5 a.m. Pacific time or 6 a.m. Pacific time. A couple times.
Hitting for the Cycle was on in the morning?
I think it was at one point, yeah.
I don't know if it was. I don't remember. I should know that.
I think at one point they were on at 7 a.m. local time out here on the West Coast, and I would sleep right through it every morning.
Oh, that's right. It used to be a morning show, and then I said, guys, like, let's just go. Oh, we had to move it because of Ryan.
Yes.
Because of Ryan's new job, which, by the way, I'm happy for him. I think he's in a much better place now. He was working at MLB Network for years. And actually, yeah, Zan reminds me, yeah, it used to be in the morning.
I would remember waking up and checking my phone, and it's always Twitter notifications about the show. I'm like, because the show was on at 7 a.m. No wonder.
So I think that show's going to get an extended off season. I really do. And I think
Big
they might come on with us a few times, depending how the lockout works out, because you and I are going to be busy, but baseball season's not going to be over, especially when December 1st comes around. You might get what does Tom jokingly say? You might get
like the video game league we're starting for the network for baseball?
No, not that. Like he jokingly said, "Oh, you guys might end up doing a 6-hour lockout show."
God, yeah.
Let's see. The only show that's never changed time slots and only days is my own. It's always been 3 p.m. Eastern, I think, for the entire show's history. Yeah, that is right.
Yeah.
But he's now on, well, he already started. We moved Bando's Breakdowns to Thursday at 3 p.m. to have a little more symmetry there. And also just to make things easier. And I've said this before. We were recording and producing everything. That was just not conducive to growing.
And I think you made the point. And I think you made the point though last week that especially in the news cycle that sports operates, you can't afford to sit on produced content like what we were doing for 2 days, and then by the time it gets released, that news is probably already stale and outdated and already old. Yeah,
it's better for me. Again, I wish I would have done it way sooner. You know what's but we all live and learn, right? Like I asked Callan. I made it almost on a flip of a switch, almost
big time.
Like, and we needed to because we were not making watch hours. We were not doing what we needed to do. Now there's a pathway to 3,000 and 4,000 watch hours. Now we're almost at 2,700 watch hours. We were 20 away before I checked, before we went live. But 3,000 watch hours and 4,000 watch hours are now a doable thing. And if you do your part, like I said, where you subscribe to our YouTube channel and you watch our content, the fans will benefit. The people who watch will benefit because we have some ideas down the road for some shows, which we talked about in the 4-hour extravaganza intro of this program. I think we're going to hit by Halloween, if not before. I hope you're right, Zan. I hope you're right.
The Empty the Bench Network Halloween special where everybody comes dressed up in costumes. Oh, wait, no, I have to work that night. Never mind.
Oh, man. Well, whose fault is this?
The American Hockey League for scheduling San Diego Henderson and San Diego on Halloween night on a Saturday.
No, I know.
And no, I won't be dressing up either.
let's see, the last time I ever did any costume, I was probably like elementary school.
Oh, wow. How about this?
Oh,
Halloween. Okay, that wedding better be fully themed after the Nightmare Before Christmas. Otherwise, I want a refund.
Let's go.
Otherwise, I want a refund, Jen.
Yeah. First of all, I don't care if it's like a best friend's wedding. I would never go in a costume. Sorry, I just would not. I don't care whose wedding it is at that point. What else was I going to say? Oh, the gambling content. So UW will stay in its normal slot, Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern. We're efforting some other stuff. Connor Rowland, who is a co-host of Unnecessary Wagers, is probably going to do and we're still working it out, like a 2 to 3 minute segment that's going to go into our live show, football forecast, which, remember, I came up with that great idea.
Yeah.
We still have that full folder, by the way, of like all these ideas like I made for Lounge. And I think we're going to do it. Connor's Cash Cow. I think we're going to do it. Should have like the moo and whatever it is. I don't know how we would figure it out, but or you could just like pulling of the udders and have money coming out of the cow. Come on, man. You have to admit that would be hilarious. Like,
that is pretty good.
See, like, it needs ice cream too, specifically vanilla. Oh God. Hey Nick, when it comes to football season, should I do a coin flip for who should win each game? No, you don't get that joke. That's from someone who used to be here a long time ago. But like I said before, James Myers, who's the co-host of FB5, we might have another idea in the works. Because he does a gambling show outside of here that I'd like to help him kind of grow. And we were discussing the idea of having them do a betting show at like 3:45 Eastern on Sunday before the 4 p.m. Eastern window opens. And then they would be live while the games are going on, and they could kind of react to like live betting in the moment or parlays or like, and then they can also set up Sunday Night Football, like in the primetime games. What should I make my bets and all that stuff? That's not set in stone yet, but that's an idea. So think about this. We're going to have college football pre and post react, and we're going to have a pre-show gurus before the official NFL Sunday begins. And then we might have a reaction show in the second window for betting purposes to get you caught up and to get you making bets in the secondary window. So that's
all the gambling windows are covered.
Yeah, and by the way, before anyone says, "Oh, that's a lot of gambling content. They're obsessed." What did I say to you the first show? What is something that really drives a network to get your numbers up?
Betting, wagering,
betting content. And let me be very clear. Am I in full agreement of obsessive betting? No. But am I smart enough to realize that it's important? Yes. We need it to drive content. What is Zanga? You're also going to get some on-site stuff from me. Right, because he's going to games. So the college football season is going to be busy. Right. So, yeah, because he sent me some live video stuff before. Oh, God. I think the Dodgers are going to win the Super Bowl.
Somebody AI'd the Dodgers winning the World Cup yesterday. I was so pissed off seeing that.
Well, you hate the Dodgers, so that kind of makes sense.
I mean, come on, AIing the World Cup for soccer? Come on now.
But yeah, so Zan's going to do some live stuff on the road. He actually got some interesting stuff on the road too. We had some viral content more for when he went to, I forgot which UFC event it was. Was it 319? I think. Callan, is the NFL the only sport you can't stand?
Yes.
Not even for the game's sake. Oh yeah, I was right. UFC 319. It's more because you just hate Dean Spanos.
Yeah.
It really has nothing to do with the football itself.
I don't find the sport attractive, but that's just but the tip of the iceberg is involving the team that left my marketplace 9 years ago.
But if the Chargers were still around, it might be a different story.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be like live and die, but I would like at least root for them, but I wouldn't still really care for the product because I never really got into football. I only went to like 3 or 4 games in my whole life.
That's true. I can understand that.
I didn't go to my first game till Christmas Eve 2007. That's how long it was.
That's great. I've never been to an NFL game, by the way, in person.
I think I saw every team in the AFC West but the Raiders. Kansas City, Denver, the Jets with Brett Favre, and then the Colts in the playoffs when we were 8-8 and won the division championship.
Brett Favre. Oh, God. I love the Cowboys, but I've developed absolute disdain for Jerry Jones. Hey, Jerry Jones, you want to help me out here?
About them Cowboy.
And by Jerry Jones, I mean Tom Albano. Let's see. I've never been to an NFL game ever, and I don't plan to go ever. I want to go to at least one. Well, not my own, because my team is deserves to be at the bottom of the pit of despair at this point. Off with their head. Nick, you would hate it. I would not recommend it. I haven't been to a Bears game in 2 years. Well, it's going to be harder, right? Because they're moving to Hammond, Indiana. So they're moving.
This part I agree with, though.
Going to college football games is much more exciting. The problem is I'm not in an area where college football is that popular in Long Island.
Even here, like San Diego State might be in the Pac-12, but they don't draw anybody at Snapdragon Stadium. They get outdrawn by two global football teams, which is pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, that's not good. But that's the gambling side of things. Well, Rutgers is Jersey. That's really not near me. That's Nick DiMartino territory. That's Nico territory.
The Scarlet Knights.
Yeah, so that would be a little bit of a drive just for me to get there. I've been to 2 Cowboys games, one at Texas Stadium.
The old stadium, yes.
And one at AT&T Stadium, the current stadium, which has the ridiculous scoreboard, which they have to call interference on the scoreboard every time they punt.
And they don't use the curtains, but they did so for the World Cup.
Which is hilarious. Zan says, "Oh, I got it." Yeah, Rutgers is not close to me.
Yeah, I mean, look, I work occasionally like 1 or 2 college games at my school because our regular PA guy happens to do the Padre games. So sometimes when the Padres are booked, he'll do them, and I'll usually come in and do a game for football at my school, and then SDSU's close by, and I've gone to the Rose Bowl for a UCLA game. I'm still trying to get to the Coliseum for a game at USC, but still, no thanks.
You mean the stadium that's a stack of air conditioners in the middle of a New Jersey?
Shit Life Stadium, right?
It's pretty bad. Where was I going with this? Yeah, no, Rutgers is far away from me, Zan, though. That's why if I'm going to make a trip. What?
Syracuse?
That's upstate. I'm in Long Island. So that would probably be 6 or 7 hours.
No.
Because my brother went to Albany, which is
Albany,
which is all the way upstate, almost.
Albany.
So my brother went to Albany. My sister-in-law went
to
Buffalo.
The Great Danes.
Yeah, my sister-in-law went to Buffalo. So
yes, it was. Yes, or as they said, New York, New Jersey Stadium.
I still have a problem with this, by the way.
Well, if MetLife would sponsor the World Cup, they could have had their name on the stadium.
First of all, it's New Jersey Stadium if they're going to refer to it. It's not worth the drive. I know. Zan, you're 100% right. But I remember making the trip up to Albany when we moved my brother in. Like, it's a long drive. It is a very long drive. We didn't have to deal with the snow, thankfully, a lot, which was nice.
Hallelujah.
But I remember, because when you're upstate, you get snowstorms, and they don't cancel shit because they're built. It's like a full tunneling system up in Albany. It's crazy. Like Hofstra, which is right near me, they even have a tunneling system for some stuff. So I don't know. But let's get to the second part of this. You want to address empty the pitch because there is some plans. Hopefully, that
believe me, we have plans. Again, huge thank you again to everyone who joined us over the course of the last 39 days covering the World Cup for the last 5 to 6 weeks that we had programming, especially after Team USA matches. Just in general, it was very fun to bring soccer here to the network. But again, we're about a month away right now from the EPL season getting underway on August 21st. So right now, Trevor and myself are trying our best to reassess what the future of ETP does look like, for the simple fact that as I made the mention twice yesterday over the course of the World Cup recap shows, we were occupying Trevor's Saturday time slot during the offseason for college football. We'll do it all over again next year for the Women's World Cup, though, barring the time zone change between San Diego and Columbus and Brazil for the Women's World Cup in Brazil next season. But the show is not going anywhere. If anything, it will probably pivot right now for us for social media traction. Again, as Trevor made the mention on Saturday, he will be at the Columbus Crew Pigeons match. New York City FC's visiting Columbus on Wednesday. So he said he'll try to get some video footage from the supporters section around Scott's Miracle-Gro Field around Columbus. And we're going to try to keep the show alive when we're at matches. I won't be able to get to a match, though, here locally in town until probably late August because of work and being at home with the dog while my dad's overseas in Italy for a couple of weeks. But we do plan, though, on doing a bit of like a weekly roundup, basically, for the program to recap EPL, to recap Bundesliga, La Liga, you name it, like all the big soccer news, and also stay true to our roots, though, with MLS, the NWSL, and what have you. So that's kind of where things are at. We're just trying to find out which is the right way to go, though, with a studio produced program, or are we just going to do this mainly, via social media content? Maybe use the studio for some reaction videos to news or what have you. But I think, though, Nick, that the vehicle, I think Trevor made a great point, though, is that if we're at a match, to document what a day looks like, though, across a Major League Soccer match, especially, like I said, though, Nick, though, for a very long rant, or not a rant, but a very long story session on the lounge on Sunday, MLS is how I have filled my NFL void over the last, year, or, since the NFL left, between Galaxy games and LAFC games before SDFC came to town. And I become a very big part of the supporter culture here in town, being a part of one of the supporter groups that, again, we're all the lunatics who stand and cheer and wave flags and, get drunk for 90 minutes, though, and supporting the club, though, and you're singing, songs in Spanish about smoking ganja and drinking beer in the stands. That and this is also part of a episode, I think, for Benchmarks we have coming out eventually, that I'll be writing about this too as well for Mr. Small Market on Substack, that the soccer, and that was the thing, though. I mean, even though that Nick D made his thoughts known about the game and, he doesn't watch and whatever, he did get one thing right, though, that the passion of the soccer fan base is on a whole nother level. And I made that mention, though, Nick, on the shows on Sunday about the Brazil fans taking over Times Square the night that the Knicks won the NBA Finals. The Norway road chant going all over the country. The Scotties out drinking the great people of Boston, Massachusetts dry, like first day on the job there. Obviously Team USA having their supporters around the country. Mexico having sold out crowds, though, that the fandom of soccer is on a whole nother level. And believe me, I would love to, in fact, see, that's why I made that very much big plea, though, that you have to now support these teams that are in your marketplace. I mean, MLS, NWSL, USL, you name it, that they deserve your support after this World Cup has just come through, though. And I think, Nick, I've told you many times about how my day is for a SDFC match, for example, here in San Diego. I leave my house at precisely 1:18 p.m. because 18 is a big number within the club's DNA about the 18 communities. I leave my house about that time, go to the parking lot. We're there 5 hours before kickoff. Like, this is a damn NFL game. Like, this is literally, bringing back San Diego's NFL tailgate culture. I mean, I've sent you photos. I've documented a bunch of things, though, and that's how I have, helped doing so. Burgers and fries or chicken tenders and house-made chips.
Speaking of tailgate.
So, Zan, let me clue you in on this. I forget how many groups that we have. And
this is just, by the way, I just want to clear one thing. These stories are incredible, what he's about to tell, because you've told me stories about how the tailgates work.
Mm-hmm.
So, Zan, listen to this, because this is incredible.
So I'll tell you this much, Zan. This goes to my point, though, about, filling the void of my NFL fandom. of the last 9 years. Everybody who goes to these matches has either still supported the Chargers, they have ditched the Chargers, and they all in a way are like me. How do I find a way to fill the NFL void of my hometown? I'll go watch the other version of football, which is soccer. And again, depending on game time, we're there 5 hours before kickoff for a 7:30, 7 o'clock game time, 6:30, whatever. So I get there, I go make my rounds because, many people know me from my time working in soccer here. I've got, like I said, I have my 3 championship rings of when I announced for the Soccers, who they've won 17 championships in the indoor version of the game over the last 40 plus years. But when I get to my tent with my Star Wars geeks who are also fans of the team, every week, Zane, the menu changes. Like, you could go to one spot, they've got burgers and hot dogs, which is one of our sister groups. You go further down the parking lot, they've got tacos and burritos. They've got fresh ceviche. They've got, I don't know, they've got they got nachos. I mean, it's a full-fledged like smorgasbord and a full buffet. So, for example, and also, by the way, sometimes we'll kind of, in a way, mock the opposition. So here's a funny story, Zam. When we played...
Hold on. Wait, now it disappeared. I thought I just saw breaking news. Hold on one second.
I'm not seeing anything from anybody.
Okay. Go ahead. Sorry. False alarm. Go ahead. Sorry.
So, Zam, this is kind of a minor league baseball thing, but sometimes teams will do a eat your opponent menu item, like they usually do it with hot dogs, for example, at certain minor league stadiums. Sometimes we'll jokingly taunt the opposition. So the last game I went to, Zan, for my birthday, we played Cincinnati. They're well known for Skyline Chili. One of our supporter groups bought Skyline Chili and brought it to the tailgate party. But it depends on where you go, though. So, like with our group, we'll do usually we'll do like dogs and burgers. We'll do like tacos, burritos, apple pie, whatever. But again, it changes, over and over and over. But what we're known for, though, Zan, being a bunch of Star Wars nerds who enjoy soccer, our group brings a ice cream cart, a Mexican-style push cart that Eddie Lopez, our president, brings in. We fill that, though, with beer and twisted tea, and he will walk the parking lot wearing a Boba Fett bounty hunter helmet and give these out. But the last time that we had a game, though, for the kids, we give them popsicles, with Mexican-style popsicles. So it ties in, though, to Anders Dreyer, by the way. This is one of the bobbleheads. So our nickname for him is called El Paletero, which is the ice cream man in Spanish. Yeah. So this was actually a marketing campaign before the playoffs last year that he rode this bike filled to the brim with ice cream around Mission Beach before the playoffs began last year. They made it into a damn bobblehead this past year. So we actually have one of those that Eddie will push around the parking lot. It's got beer in it. It's got soda, water, twisted tea. And then for the kids, we give them popsicles. But it's a full-fledged, overstimulation. But it's mainly a lot of like our roots, though. Again, being so close to the border, you get all the great Mexican food that comes through. And also we got like live DJs that come. We've got bands that play.
It's a party.
It's a full-fledged party. Again, like I said, and this ties in, though, to the whole point, though, regarding the future of ETP, bringing you that inside look. I mean, I've sent our group chats many, many photos and videos of the atmosphere. I was going to show one video, actually, I think on PR last week, but the one video I do have of me celebrating, I'm shirtless, and I don't want that to be put out there but part of soccer culture, you score a goal, everyone gets doused in beer, your eyes are burning, and then you all go shirtless. That's just how it works.
Oh, is this the version of Tarps Off?
In a better way than 3 words being said up Interstate 5 in Anaheim.
That's awesome to hear. You don't have to show it, but I'm curious, what does your setup look like in front of you? It seems like you're always looking at multiple things at once, which is awesome. Yeah, you and I both do that, actually. But if you want to answer that, go ahead.
Regarding
your setup right now, what you're using.
My setup. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, a lot of times I'm trying to get back to friends that are texting me about, the Padres lost again, this team sucks, and then Avengers Doomsday is coming out in December. We're going to Disneyland for my friend's birthday. So phone charging. So that's why I'm like constantly looking over, clearing notifications. Sometimes I'll also like be looking, and this is also a thing though too during Cranium or during any show. I have the Google Doc rundown for our program, so I can have all my notes at my disposal. I used to have a setup, Jose, where I had my iPad next to me, but it looks so weird to be like looking this way and not looking at the audience.
I'm the same way. Like I have an iMac 27-inch screen, and my Mac allows me to split my screen, so I can have our StreamYard window on one, and I can scroll either Twitter or news and stuff, and I can follow along. So you and I are basically doing the same thing.
Yeah, and I think just to wrap up with the ETP future, like we're not going anywhere. We're going to take a bit of a break, though, to reassess, though, because the EPL won't start operation till August 21st. I'm still trying to find the new club to root for, not named Coventry City or Nottingham Forest or Arsenal or Tottenham Hotspur. So
my favorite moment is when you tried to use Gemini or ChatGPT to find you a new team to root for.
I'm still doing that, damn it. And I'm working on a very good episode, by the way, about the EPL. My home team, Leicester City, won the EPL and Champions League 10 years ago. And this is all being born out of a similar fact that during COVID, my mom and I went deep into the ancestry archives about our family lineage. Her family all is from the Midlands of England, away from me being Irish and Scottish, but also being English, Dutch, German, Japanese, you name it. I'm a Heinz 57. That's the running joke in the family that myself, my brother, and my niece and nephew were all Heinz 57 because we're all over the place and scattered. But I wound up finding out that a lot of my family came from Leicester City, which is a very big industrial town over in England. And by the way, there's a very cool Netflix 6-episode series called The English Game that talks about the FA Cup and how a small club from Blackburn went on this miracle run, and they were all, Nick, like factory workers in the 1800s who went on to win one of England's biggest soccer tournaments of all time. Where I think that the FA Cup, by the way, is up to 790 teams playing for the championship.
Dang, wow, that's crazy.
But yes, ETP is not going anywhere. We're just trying to find out the right avenue about where we go.
It would be cool once in a while, like if you took the show with you, like to from the pregame to inside the stadium.
Yeah, I think I'm planning on doing that when I get to when I get back to Snapdragon for SDFC, because I can't go on Saturday this week, sadly, because I got to work. And then I think the next game I do plan to be at is August 22nd versus Colorado. So
that would be cool. Like if you took us inside like the tailgate, like outside the stadium, you could go live on the Twitter or Instagram. You need 1,000 followers. Thanks a lot, Elon.
I can go online. I got like 25 hundo and growing ever since I went to Irvine on Sunday or Saturday.
I just meant like if you wanted, can you collab a live? I don't even know if you can do that.
Idea. It's a good question.
That would be interesting too.
Hey, the Cubbies.
Speaking of games, the next game I'm going to is when the Cubs play the Yankees in a week. Oh man, too bad I couldn't be down there.
You got till September 3rd, sir, to figure it out to come out here to the West Coast.
I'm gonna try. You can, but you can't do it until after the fact. But yeah, empty the pit. If I do an AEW Collision watch wrong, I'll have an iPad near me because I have an HBO Max on it. Yeah.
There you go.
You know what? That's the future, though. A lot of it is app watching. Of course, I still am not happy with the whole Netflix podcast expansion that's continuing to go on.
Oh, no.
Did you see also that Netflix announced that they're keeping that soccer podcast going past the World Cup?
Maybe it's a good thing, though, that you keep soccer kind of in the limelight after the World Cup's coming on.
They're going to do it for UEFA, and then it obviously then it'll make its way into 2027 when the Women's World Cup, which you and Trevor will do again in that same time slot. Again, thank you to the almost 1,800 people that are watching in this chat. Thank you. We're too dope. We're two idiots talking about sports media and content for this network.
Take over the world.
Our world. Yes. I might do an Illinois watch along for a road game if my schedule. Yeah, I'm in. I think that would be great. Get some of the college football guys maybe to watch. Maybe just do a like a Forever Power 5 watch along maybe, and we could figure
Hitting
that
from
out.
a Cycle World Series watch along.
You realize that clip on TikTok is still getting views and likes on it?
I love it.
It's crazy. All right, what was next on the on the docket? So, the scrolls of analytics, top performing shows, and subscriber growth.
Been really good recently.
Yeah, so that goes to like watch hours, and talking about watch hours, we are, and I think we're doing really well tonight. I checked on YouTube. We're getting consistent watch. I'm hoping we pass 2,700 watch hours maybe tonight, and then we go from there, which means we'll only be 300 watch hours away from the first goal, 3,000, which then introduces the super chats and getting your comments to the front of the line if you pay, or super stickers, whatever that means, or
like $1. You can give like a thumbs up or a wave or a heart.
And we can make our own, like where people can collect a series of things that we make. So we can have some fun with that. And then if you want to get your comment read quicker than everybody else, I guess you could pay for it, I guess. And then also that allows us to have the merch stores and affiliation and YouTube affiliation where we can push stuff and then they give us the kickback based on it. But yes, the plan is to have Wee Woo towels as one of our first merch items. Can we get a rally towel ETB stare? Oh, that's a good idea.
Good idea.
Jen, you know what? That's
write that down. Write that down.
That's enough.
Everybody wants one.
And we said everyone's going to get a Wee Woo towel based on their a phrase or terminology they use. Like for me, I think it'd be fallacy of a predetermined outcome.
1,800 viewers. Let's go.
Keep it rolling, everybody. Keep it rolling.
Keep rolling.
What other great phrases have we had on this network? Oh, Stone Cold Sophie, since Christy's listening.
Win-loss behavior.
Oh yeah, that one's great for you. What else have we had? Are there any other ones that stand out? Oh, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. That's a perfect Tom one.
Moron.
He's a moron. Oh, there you go.
That needs to be on a beer glass, damn it.
Oh, God. Jen's wagon of the okay.
The wagon of the week, yes.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Sophie 316. She just whooped your ass.
And you know what? Because the WNBA won't do it, we'll use the Sophie Point meme for those shirts.
Well, I don't know if we can use a picture of her, though, because that would be considered licensee fraud.
Oh, what's Kathy Engelbert going to do, right?
What can we get a new one that says, "What would Kathy do"? Can we just get like, I want one that says that.
And a thought bubble.
And a thought bubble. That's right. Or we need one with Bryson DeChambeau saying, "Screw you, I have YouTube money."
Oh, yes.
I think that would be amazing. I think so.
Oh, God, that'd be incredible.
But to talk about top performing shows, I think everything is now finally growing together.
Because of going live, as we've already said.
I'm sure you guys can reason with her. I'm telling you,
come on the show and we'll gladly negotiate.
Yeah, I'm in. Hey, if we can get Sophie Cunningham as a guest, I think that would be amazing. I just want to hear her shit on Kathy Engelbert. I think that would be amazing. But yeah, everything is starting to grow together because of the live platform, and I think this industry has gone through an interesting phase.
Oh, I could not agree more.
Where what happened was it was all about recording and producing content because you're scheduling. You would hit the algorithm. That really stopped working a lot. Now it's all about live because you could change titles like a half an hour, 20 minutes before the show to make sure you hit the algorithm correctly. Heck, we had to do it for this show, for crying out loud. So you reacting to the news in the moment where things are going on.
Nothing involving breaking news. I just wanted to give a quick shout out real quick to the Rinks Irvine inline. I'll talk more about this in a second, but they have just reshared my Substack on their Facebook page.
Yeah, let's go.
Continue.
By the way, Emmanuel Acho has sounded off about ESPN parting ways with Brian Clark. That's probably going to be a press row topic, probably. What was I saying? Oh, just everything about the lives. The industry has changed. That's why we do everything live, because you can react to everything in the moment. It's less production to do everything live, and you can break news during the shows, like we almost did. And thank God I didn't, because it was a parody account with the news. But it's fun kind of reacting to stuff in the moment rather than having to first wait, and then the show doesn't come out for 2 days, and then the news is spoiled. Or you end up in a Nick DiMartino, Johnny Montalbano situation where every time they would do a show, 15 to 20 minutes of their show would be destroyed.
Right.
Oh, God. Nick, I just wrote about the Browns. That's not a typo either. It comes out tomorrow. I know someone who would have an opinion of what the Browns are.
If we keeping a buck right now, we ass.
Thank you, Cam Ward.
But yeah, going live is a big thing. The shows are picking up. One of the big drivers for us right now, I would say, is Fight IQ. And Fight IQ Puncher's Chance and the Fight IQ live stream for the UFC post streams for the numbered posts. Those streams have been unbelievable. You and I have seen those when they go live. Like, he's averaging somewhere between, 700 and 900 people sometimes on those post-show streams.
Again, I think, though, that goes to that's a true testament, though, I think, Nick, to the simple fact that literally to the point that this was all, I think, birthed, though, because of the NBA Finals post-game reaction shows that you and Johnny had been doing.
Oh, my God. Those were nuts. We were getting 1,100, 1,200, 1,500 people in some of those NBA post streams. But yeah, that was kind of crazy. Yeah, and Zan says it's coming back in 3 weeks for UFC 330. So stay tuned for that. Christy Wilson says, breaking news. Wait, breaking news? I wasn't ready for this moment. Danhausen versus Dominic Mysterio is official for SummerSlam. No, I'm not kidding. There it is.
Yes.
Wait, so Danhausen's not out there cursing people right now?
I think he cursed Liv Morgan and Mr. Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah. But, yeah, like going live is a big thing. It helps with the numbers. You can react to things in the moment. And the replays are ready to go directly after the show ends. Oh, God, no. He did uncurse the Jets. Christy, it doesn't matter.
Can he curse the Dodgers or something like that, please, or something?
Can you curse the Dodgers? Can you curse, like, some team that the Phillies,
Philadelphia, the Rangers, the Texas Rangers, that is, the Phillies, or the San Jose Guppy Puppies in the NHL,
or the Diamondbacks? Is Danhausen going to bring out? Wait, Cade Hausen?
Cat Dawson, because Cat, Jaylen Brown, and Halliburton were a part of the storyline on Saturday,
which I find so stupid. By the way, to be honest,
like your boy Cam Scattaboo.
No, don't even get me started with Cam Scattaboo. Ugh. Cam Scattaboo is the biggest moron of all time. I don't care. Moron. He's a moron.
You know what? Your shirt's going to have an up arrow pointing at you, and it's going to say moron underneath it.
Or is that like the episode?
The I'm with stupid shirt, yes.
Or when they say best friend and they stupidly point the wrong way to somebody else, and Patrick gets overly emotional about it.
I'm only pretending to be dumb.
Sure you are. Sounds like someone else who used to be here. But yeah, everything I think is doing well together now. Now, I look at like ETB Sports because that's our flagship show. That's our main show. Press Row, I think, is one of our big drivers.
And I know you're just happy the show isn't at midnight Eastern time now.
Oh, yeah, that was brutal. That was tough. I didn't mind it for a while because I was a late night owl, but sometimes my parents didn't love it when I was up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Ooh.
It's much better now.
Yes.
But I would say ETV Sports, Press Row, and then Fight IQ, like I said, MTGP is doing better. Once our football shows come back, that does a lot of drive. Forecast is a huge show. Forever Power 5 is a huge show. And Forever Power 5 hasn't been officially live as a show. They did some live, like they went live for the breaking news for Sharon Moore last season. And that drove like 800 to 900 views. Yeah, Zan, BB needs to do better from a viewership perspective. I think part of what hurts is just the West Coast time probably hurts that a little bit, being on at 3 p.m. Eastern. But you are right. Once we get into football season, that show will do better from a college football and an NFL standpoint, just because the algorithm, I think, will do a better job of picking it up. And then like just collabing on content for different things helps to drive the shows also. So yeah, I think Bando's Breakdowns will do better once NFL, college football, college basketball all into the mix.
Basketball?
Well, not that basketball, but basketball. So I would say that's more the answer on like top performing shows. Even BTR does well on Saturday now that it's closer to AEW. Like I see those numbers doing better, but as a whole, we just gotta be better on a social media side. Like when I put the network Instagram stories out, just sharing and putting the link on top of it. That way people can find active links for the shows. I think that's, you and I do that more than anything for Press Row or
all the time,
or for Cranium or for ETV Sports or it's got to be better as a collaborative. That way people have more active links to find things. Christy's saying BTR has been doing good. Zan said it helps that Illinois might be a preseason number 1 for college basketball.
Him fighting Illini,
which could be really good for my show. Well, yeah, because you have the Illinois audience built into your audience for social media. We're still trying on the football side to get Coach on the show. That's been Zan will have to come on the show one day and tell that story, because him and I have been back and forth with Illinois brass, and that's just been a fun little situation, because it's always interesting. But Brett's been impossible to get on as an interview. We've tried to get him on Zan's show, and he's talked to Coach B before.
Yeah,
but it's just I don't know. It's like he goes on all the national shows. He's on Jim Rome's show 10 million times.
A little weird.
And the one thing Zan and I have discussed, and I find interesting now in the industry, these guys are more interested in talking to ESPN, talking to Rome, talking to all the national. But who's the one that you want to hear the comprehensive coverage of Illinois from? You want to hear it from a local perspective, right? More than a national perspective taking over. I don't know. Like, what do you feel about that from the perspective of local versus national?
Especially when you have somebody like Zan who covers the school and went to the school and stuff like that. Like, you can at least cut out a few minutes of your day to talk to them. Can't be that hard.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like local is what drives content, because local, believe it or not, national is picking up from where? They're picking up from local stuff to make national headlines most of the time. But I don't know. I just find it so ridiculous at times. Like, oh, we'll give a half an hour to national and we'll give like 5 minutes to the local people. Like the
That's
local
not
people,
right.
Like the local people generate the storylines. They find out more. The national, here's what I find interesting. You get the national guys of the world, like the Pete Thamels or the Dan Wetzels. Like, do you really think they're interested in like the local, like the full local story of what's going on with Illinois football? No. And that's no disrespect, Zan. Let me be very clear about that. But they're interested in doing a story, making whatever headlines there are for a national audience. They could give two craps about all the stuff that's going on in the area around the football team. And I think that's missing sometimes from a national perspective. Like,
could not agree more.
Like, when people cover SDSU, like, do you have national guys that come down to cover the team or no?
No, very far few and in between. And my school's even tougher because we're 1AA where I work at USD.
But you have a bunch of local, right, that cover the team? Or no?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think we may have one local newspaper writer who shows up, and that's about it.
Guys need more coverage, man. Need some digital people to help with the coverage. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of the long walk around. Like, going live has been the top performer right now of fixing our issues when it came to building watch hours. You want to talk about the trip a little?
Oh, yeah. The trip was awesome. It was very great. Just again, want to express my deepest appreciation to Nick, Tom, and a bunch of others who helped contribute to the piggy bank for the trip. Got to go and cover the Narch finals. Again, that is a major ordeal when it comes to the inline hockey community here across Southern California. I literally wrote the Substack on the way up, paused, wrote more when I was watching games, wrote more on the way back, and finished the story before I got home on Saturday into Sunday morning. This tournament is a major ordeal for the inline hockey space here in Southern California. This is a major tournament where they have 955 games being played over a 2-week span. And I went to it last year, did a bit of some freelance stuff. I thought I need to do this again next year to cover, people that I follow in the space. And for those that are wondering, I've been around hockey for over 25 years, 26 years now, and going on my 11th year in the AHL, which is the league below the NHL. Having worked with the Gulls here in San Diego, who serve as the affiliate for the Anaheim Ducks for the last 10 years, going on year 11. And then I got linked up, though, to work with the inline hockey league here in San Diego up in North County at a rink that's in the middle of a giant, youth sports complex up in Escondido. And I've been there as their announcer, their head of media, and one of their, directors of operations for the last 3 years. And every summer we have to take this, all of July off practically to let all of our teams or all of our guys go and play in these tournaments. Like, our commissioner plays, his number 2 guy plays, all of our players play and whatnot. So this is a major event. And if you have noticed from the small market edition episodes, the last 2 have been all about the 90s era with inline hockey. I talked about the 4-year run for the pro roller hockey league that played here, which Darren Goodwin, the founder of Narch, or the guy who bought Narch, I should say, played for the Oakland Skates for a year, which was a part of RHI. And more importantly, it's a way for me to give back to the game. And I go there, Nick, and I see so many people that have known me for my time in hockey, whether it's, from the Gulls or from other avenues I've been a part of. Like Andy Zilch, our former radio announcer, is now the lead announcer for Narch during these games on the webcasts. So he does all the pro games usually on one of the main rinks at Irvine Inline. Again, Josh Fontaine, his team won the men's gold championship on Sunday afternoon after I got to watch him play at like 8:30 at night. On Saturday, they pummeled some team from Arizona. But like teams have come here from New Zealand, teams have come here from Canada, from Mexico, from all around the world. And also, Nick, what's so fun, though, this is a full, no age discrimination. I mean, I saw kids that were age 6 playing out there. I saw all the old guys that are in the 50-plus league playing. All of my friends who are in the 30-plus leagues playing. More importantly, Nick, our great friend Blake Bolden had a women's team there, and they were loaded with talent. Like Claire Peterson, Chelsea Goldberg, Reagan Russ, who's a great follow on social media. And it's usually the same 3 teams, Nick. So it's usually Blake's team, the Ringster Factory team that has a lot of USA, inline hockey champions of like Allison Era, Tia Stoddard, Laura Veranta, and then the Palma Golden Knights, who also are always in the running. And their final game, Nick, drew a great crowd, and it came down to the final 5 seconds where Ringster went back-to-back, and they actually, Nick, split. And Nick, they're splitting a $5,000 prize pool for winning the Narch Pro for the women's side. Then when the men's pro game happened between OC Blades and Palma, I'll tell you what, Nick, everybody at that complex, if they didn't have a game, and I sent you videos, they were 3, 4 deep around the perimeter of the rink. And it came down to Kyle Mayhew, a former NHL player and AHL guy, scoring the game-winning goal in the waning minute of regulation time after OC did all this effort to tie the game. But more importantly for me, though, Nick, I see so many people like O'Hara Shipe. I wrote about her in my Substack. O'Hara has been playing this game for a long time. She's from Alaska. She moved to Arizona for her job. And, she, was still there when I left at 11 o'clock at night in case somebody had to have a goalie, fill in for their team. And, the inline hockey community, Nick, is much like the entire hockey community that everybody looks out for each other. And, the story, Nick, is just blowing up. I'm still getting messages when it goes, that it's just been, going all over the place. I mean, I have the data pulled up here real quick just to kind of see where things currently stand right now with the story, because literally, as I said, though, like just before, this block came up, the Rinks and the Rinks account on social media just shared my story on Facebook. And this story has just blown up, Nick. In the numbers right now, it's been viewed over 8,400 times. I've picked up at least 10 new followers on Instagram, reactions and shares. I mean, like, because normally my content's like dog content or workplace content. But I think, though, Nick, when you work as hard as people like us do to earn your respect, pay your dues. Again, I think I made the mention, I think, on here that I went, Nick, from being a play-by-play announcer when I first got into doing hockey games at the junior hockey level before I got to the AHL. I went from being a play-by-play announcer to a color commentator to a camera operator to a goal judge to a ID checker, an usher, sold peanuts and Cracker Jacks and checked IDs at the beer garden. I did like all the stuff you have to do to get that chance to get your job. And when I got a phone call one day back in 2013, 2014, roughly, about we don't have a PA guy, and I stepped in to do it. I'm like, okay, this is where I'm going to be. And sure enough, it's where it's taken me, though. But again, more importantly, though, for me, it's great, though, to connect, though, Nick, with people that I engage with a lot on the web, to see them play in person. And I was also there, though, to shoot content. I missed out, though, on seeing Blake Bowman's team play. Sadly, again, Blake was a guest of ours on Press Row to talk all things about the Olympic Games and the double gold by the USA hockey teams over in Milan Cortina. But I missed her team play by about an hour, sadly. But I got to watch Josh's team play. They beat the crap out of some team from Arizona 8-3 in their game. Got to see, again, like O'Hara and all the people I know around there. So for me, though, it's fulfilling, Nick, to be able to go, though, to the tournament, though. And again, it would not be possible without like the generosity, because, Nick, I see this all the time, though. And I've documented this, though, too, that this sport, though, is just so damn expensive. Even if you're not even playing in the thing, in my case, it was, getting enough money for just, travel up and back, food, water, atmosphere, you name it, just to be able to, go and give this sport that I have given so much of my life to its due diligence. And to, again, and this thing is just still blowing up. And I mean, the Substack has picked up numbers. It's been viewed 130 times. So, I mean, it's one of my better pieces so far. Again, I usually write on Substack about once a week, twice a week, usually. And let me actually, though, Nick, go and read what the rink actually shared with their post, because this was really, really cool. They just wrote this out. And they wrote, Nick, they wrote, a great read and small glimpse of what it means to play in, work, or attend the Narch Finals event at the rink's Irvine Inline. Months of prep go into each finals. Rink upgrades and facility work is only half the battle. Planning for and imagining every possible contingency plan in advance to keep the game rolling, and still random things happen. Our small staff of 30 come together for 12 brutal days in the dead of summer to put on the biggest hockey tournament in the entire country. We operate nearly 24 hours a day for the duration. At any given moment, we have thousands of people in our roller hockey wonderland. Staff are pushed to the limits with trash cans that seem to fill fast, snack bar lines, and bathroom restocks. But this is when the building is alive. There's an excitement. There's an air of excitement and hockey stank we would not have it any other way, Nick. And I made sure to capsulate like all that minutia, because that's what you will notice when you first come to the event. You walk in, you got 3 rinks to watch games. You got vendors all around those selling gear. But also, Nick, more importantly, you've got teams that are camping out like it's Coachella or a big music festival, and all you see is gear laid out and the smell of Febreze in the air because of just how it is. So, and again, it was 85 degrees, Nick, out there. Thankfully, all 3 rinks are covered, though. But you step outside, though, it's like you're walking into a sauna out there. And then you got that stench, though, of the Febreze and all the gear being laid out there. But then you've got some really good, like, hot dogs and great Mexican food. And you got a full-fledged Brewery X provided beer garden that I think they went dry after the women's pro final and after Josh's team won yesterday, or they won Saturday night. Like, they outdrank the rest of the entire group. And I mean, the first games, by the way, Nick, are like at 6:45 in the morning. The last games won't until like 11, or won't start till like 11:50 in the evening, and then it carries over into midnight. And Nick, they're there 12 straight days to let all the kids play first in like the first week, then all the pros come in and play the last 4 days. Like Josh's team, Blake's team, they all played the last 4 days of a tournament, though. But I mean, it's absolutely, folks, incredible. If you want to go and find it, by the way, find the link or the article on my Substack at Mr. Small Market Sports that works in conjunction with both my podcast in audio form and with our network. It's a very cool glimpse, though. I did a video dump too last night of some of the videos I got from certain teams that were from San Diego who were playing there, like the Haichu women's team. Again, they're named after a candy company, for example. Josh's team, some of the women's final and some of the pro final for the men's side. So it's I wrote it though, Nick. It is very much hyper overstimulation, but in a good way. I mean, I think I put in 15,000 steps walking from all 3 rinks to watch what was going on, though. Because when you're a rink rat like me, man, you can go and get lost in any game. It doesn't matter if it's the 6-year-olds playing or the old guys playing at age 55 who got their knees taped up still.
No, I meant it looked like you had a really good time, and we'll try to. There's something possibly in the works for you to do a live show from a different tournament. Hopefully.
Yeah, that'll be probably next Friday. So another event that I give back to is called the Classy San Diego Hockey Tournament. It's a 3-day tournament held every end of July that is held here locally at the famed San Diego Ice Arena, SDIA as we call it, up in Mira Mesa. Every year that this tournament goes on, though, we have a charity benefit for the event. And this year, I think we're working with Rady Children's Hospital, I think, the local kids' hospital here in town. So all the fees that the teams pay all goes towards the fundraising efforts of the hospital. And in the last years I think we've worked with the animal shelter. We've worked with a military veterans coalition called Shelter to Soldier, where they helped put dogs with veterans who have PTSD. And this year we're working with, I believe, with Brady Children's Health. I might be wrong, though. But it's a very small group of people that I work with, like maybe 4 to 5 people. The plan, though, is to be there on Friday next week from 6 to 9 p.m., barring internet, to go and live stream from the event. Maybe we'll have a QR code to donate to the cause, though. But literally they split the rink in half, though, and they play one 30-minute game. And it's constant motion 3-on-3. And it's a great cause. You know, a lot of my friends who play hockey that are usually on the ice side, they will play in this tournament. So I might try to get some interviews, get some footage, though. But it's a very, Nick, very fulfilling experience, though. In a way, that kind of in a way is like my kickoff of the hockey season is when the inline season for me kind of ends, though, and then Classy hits. I'm kind of getting back to the swing of the hockey season in general.
Yeah, it sounds like a good experience. We'll see what we can do. We're going to try and set up. What day is it normally?
Usually it's the last 3 days of last day of July, first weekend of August usually. But I'm going to try to be there on Friday.
Actually, that would make sense as long as there's no international fight card. But have to think about that because we have a couple shows on Friday. But I think we can figure something out and do a live thing from there. All right. Is there anything left? Because we're a little bit over time here.
I think we're good, actually, for the evening.
By the way, almost 1,900 people in here. Bravo. Thank you to everybody who's come in and watched tonight. If you missed the Ryan Clark conversation, you can go back and watch the replay. Go to YouTube, youtube.com/ETB Network. Go over, like, and subscribe to the content, whether it's this show, whether it's Bando's Breakdowns, whether it's ETB Sports, whether it's Callan's Cranium, Moving the Goalpost, Football Forecast, Forever Power 5. There's so many shows Between the Ropes. Do your part to help us out. Just do it. All right. But again, thank you to everybody. This has been a great show. We've had really good turnout for both shows, and Nate will be back in his spot. But here's the plan going forward. So when we get closer to the football season, Nate is going to be moving. So give and takes with Nate Miller, the guy who Callan mentioned before, is in Italy. That's why we're doing the show in these slots for 2 weeks. The plan is he's going to move to Tuesday, same slot, 9 or 9:30 to 10:30, or 9:30 to 10:30 p.m. Eastern. The plan is we are going to take the spot that Nate is moving from, and we are going to do this show every week on Monday.
Yes.
So you're not getting rid of us that easy.
Oh, really?
So you're going to get to hear about the insights of the network. It'll be interesting to hear what we have to say, like when we're in the mix of the NFL and college football season and how all the schedulings work out. So just be ready for it. Our next next roundtable for what?
Oh, that's right.
I was going to say, because we're out on the scrap heap until the NFL season, unless we do it some other time. I don't know when. This is live brainstorming, folks, right now. I mean, I guess. Well, no, I don't want to burden you. I was going to say Tuesday, but you do cranium at night.
Yeah.
That wouldn't make sense.
More World Cup?
No, I don't know if I'm going to talk World Cup on Tuesday. I already did enough of that as is the last 2 days.
I mean, depending on the schedules, maybe we can do it Thursday.
I do know that there will be a few Tuesdays when I get back to work starting August 5th that Cranium will be moving to Monday probably, or sometime not in the time slot because I have to be at work.
When you say Monday, just so people understand, Monday into Tuesday.
Yeah, Monday into Tuesday, yes.
So I don't know. Maybe we can do it when you get home. Maybe get a late night content dungeon. Maybe on
that was kind of the whole purpose of the show, was doing like late night content.
So maybe we'll do that. But again, I can't thank everybody enough. Almost 1,900 people in this room, and I've seen constant comments on YouTube. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts, from Callan and myself, because we work really hard on all this content, not just the shows we host. We work on everything that goes on here at this network as we continue to go up and above, and whether that includes dumb people who don't know how to do their content correctly. Well, he can have one person watching his content all the time. I really don't care.
Okay, I get to go body slam him at 9:15. Thank you for the reminder.
Oh God, what is he? You have to go on his show? Tell him I'd be interested in being on, because he responded to me on Instagram, but say I'd love to have some little debate about a dumb Phillies Mariners trade that he decided to go. I mean, yeah, because trading Trey Turner for what's his name? Wu, the Seattle pitcher. Is that his name? Well, nope, don't say that too loud. Jen's here. She doesn't like that sound. Anyway, but I don't know when the next show is going to be right now, but apparently everybody loves this show. So it's coming back, whether you like it or not.
By popular demand. We can say that by popular demand because the numbers say so.
Yeah, the numbers definitely say so. So again, and YouTube, because I'm watching some of it on my phone to see how the numbers are doing. We had a consistent watch most of the night. But yes, the content dungeon will be back. At some point, I think the plan is it will be Monday nights once Nate moves to Tuesday. Because it makes sense. It's hard to be on, at least with a sports show. Like, we're doing a content show, like, to let people know about the network. So us being on during the football actually would benefit us, I think, because we can talk a little bit of what's going on while we're live.
Oh, Troy.
For him it makes sense to be live on Tuesday, so he's not getting interrupted by Monday Night Football, which makes sense. But I'm going to stop rambling because we said we were going to do 2 hours, and it's almost 10 after the hour. So for Callan McClurg, I'm Nick Morgasen. Is it time to play the royal music to go off?
Yes, please play us off, laddie.
Until next time on the Content Lounge, have a good night.
Content Lounge.